Now, this short integration practice has the intention of allowing you to integrate all the parts of yourself. In a cohesive wholeness, because that is what we are. Despite us wanting to compartmentalize all the parts into our strengths and our weaknesses, our perceived good parts and our bad parts, the dark and the light, we are in fact whole. And through this integration practice, we can allow ourselves just to sit within that, in the acceptance. This practice uses our energetic and physical body in a small way, and our breath practice as the pacer, the guiding force, the heartbeat, in a masterful way. So whatever is happening, the intention is always to integrate our breath with what we are doing. And the intention for wholeness in that integration. So find yourself now lying down on the floor. Just take a moment to orientate on the floor. Maybe you want to put a mat under you. We will not be here for long. But we integrate the perceived good parts, the bad parts, our strengths, our weaknesses, our dark, our light. So just let your body now be supported by the earth beneath you. And take a moment to think about all the different parts of yourself. The parts that you may consider faulty, or the real strengths. They are all part of you. And as you lie on the floor, let it support you, every part of you. All the roles that you play, all the faces. Let it all just be now, as we integrate the whole of you. And just for today, and just for this moment, just let it all just blend into one. Into a cohesive whole. So you can embrace all the sides of you, accepting where you are. Now take a deep breath in through the nose for 4 and out slowly for 4. And just let your legs fully extend outwards, flexing your ankles so your feet are facing, toes are going up towards the sky. Pulling your whole body into the midline, allowing the legs to strengthen and pushing upwards, as if your ankles and feet are pushing out towards the wall in front of you. Let your toes go upwards with a stable base, pushing down to push up. Your thighs pushing up, the backs of your thighs pushing downwards, your feet pushing outwards. Notice the upward motion, that downward motion, as is life. We're pushing and pulling. Now just bringing your awareness to your hips. And maybe just placing your hand on top of the hips. And imagine yourself rotating that inwards. And let's exaggerate this moment in our pelvis at the moment. So inhale, the pelvis is forward and it arches your back. Exhale, dip the pelvis back again into the floor. And just exaggerate that. So inhaling, pelvis forward, arching the back. Exhale, dipping the pelvis into the floor. Now as you do that one more time, really exaggerating that movement, now can you make it neutral? Place the hands next to you again. But imagine your hips points and squeeze them towards the inner part of you. And then maybe place your hands on your waistline and almost imagine a corset around your waist. So you hug your navel in, now pull it up. We're pulling in at that core, our strength of us. The legs to the midline, spreading the feet, flexing the feet, the balls of the feet forward. Lift the pelvic floor up and having that contraction. Now, can we integrate the shoulders into this? So just for a moment, spreading the shoulders outwards as if you've got a smile on your shoulders, widening them. Now imagine integrating the shoulder blades back in. So we're hugging back inwards so the sockets are going into that line. Now can you integrate the breath in and out? As you hold this contraction towards the midline, holding energetically, you are actively moving all the parts of you. Now just letting that breath go out and just releasing for a moment. And on your next inhale, pulling those feet flexing in, pulling at the thighs, your hips going forward. Imagine that corset around your belly, the belly button or your navel, back up towards your spine. Now pull it up. Your shoulder blades widen for a moment and then plug your shoulder blades back in, dropping the shoulders, extending your feet outwards, but extending your head upwards, pulling and lengthening you, also pulling to the midline. Now integrate that breath back inwards. Just give yourself a moment here and keep breathing in and out as you energetically hold this. Now slowly letting go. And maybe just sitting up with your legs crossed in front of you. Maybe you want to use a prop to put under your bum just to tilt up your pelvis away from the knees. Now push down into the ground. So we push down our sitting bones into the ground as we push down to push up, all the way up our beautiful, strong, extended spine. And again, find your hip bones and imagine them pushing forward and together. Your navel back towards your spine and push it upwards. Imagine that corset. Now find your shoulder blades and just widen them like you've got a smile on your shoulder blades and your shoulders. And now integrate the shoulders back inwards. Pushing down and pushing up. We have pushing and pulling, contractions in. Now integrate your breath back in and out and in and out. And as you integrate your breath in and out, drop your tongue to the bottom of your mouth and just let it all go. But sitting in this beautiful position, this active, energetic force that you have created, allow your breath to be the life force you need to bring this all back in. Holding on to the contraction. Are you still pushing down into the ground to push upwards? Are you still got that navel pushing backwards towards the back, now pushing up? Engage your shoulder blades back in. You are actively working your core to keep you strong, and yet you're breathing. Are you breathing into your chest, into your stomach, and letting it go out slowly through your nose? Now let's go back to that intention. Can you integrate all the parts of you to make you whole, the beautiful whole that you are? Your strengths, your weaknesses, your perceived good parts, your perceived bad parts, the darkness, the light. Can you unconditionally accept all the parts of you as you are unfolding? Unfolding as we integrate. Wherever we are, whether you find yourself at the start of a journey, in between, in that luminous space, where we don't know whether we belong to the future or the past, can you accept and integrate where you are now? Keep taking a deep breath in and out, accepting where you are in this moment, which is perfect, this ever present now. Can you simultaneously do as we did in the practice? Root down to push up, to act and surrender. An integration of all of you, all the parts of you. Can you soften the mind, soften all the parts of you with power yet strength?